Hello, everybody. This is Rampage and Mr. Bean.
Hey everyone,
We're back on the Mindfair server,
going round and round and round.
and we had a problem with the pigs again. So there's one or two of them out, but I think we have pork now. Yeah. Our chests are all full.
Are they actually awful?
Yeah, they're all full. We have no more space.
Oh no.
So
expect
it
that.
definitely works.
There's so many pigs walking around
There's
this cave.
there's a lot of pork.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's. Okay, there was about. Yeah, there was about 3,000 that wasn't in a chest,
Oh,
and I just got 100 more.
that's pretty good.
So yeah, it definitely works. And it works pretty quickly.
I think I left myself spinning around and around and around quite a lot last week.
That'll
After
do
the
it.
stream, I don't think I'll log down.
Yeah, that'll make it go fast.
Okay, so we need more chests. That's what
Yeah,
you're
we
telling
need
me.
more chests.
And you just spent all the money. Okay.
What do you mean I spent all the money?
Well, you sold all of the.
I sold the excess, but there's
Ooh,
still a
I
ton of
died.
pork in the chest.
Yeah. I'll go get the pork out of the chests. Normally I try not to do that because you get like all worried about spending stuff in the chests.
Well, I don't like using the stone chest. I don't want to sell stuff in the stone, but in the pork it's fine. Because I don't know the next time I'll be able to get the stone one running again. Because I need iGamer for that. But I'm gonna undeafen. We are currently in a call with DK. Hello.
Welcome back.
No, I don't want to buy pork. I have pork. I want to sell pork.
Yesterday, my replacement speakers came because I did something bad to my other speakers.
What did you do?
Well, my left hand was weak at the time, and I was trying to plug my auxiliary cable into the speakers.
Uh-huh.
Instead, I ended up snapping off the auxiliary cable in the mic port.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry,
That's,
not the headset port.
That's
So
pretty
it-
talented.
Switches the speaker off into headset mode only.
Hmm.
So I tried to use some pliers to pull out the piece, but it was unsuccessful.
That's rough.
So that happened actually a while back, and so yesterday, I went on Amazon and bought a random Logitech speaker set.
Is it good?
It turned out to be the exact same one I already had, but it had a new feature.
Oh?
It didn't turn on.
Wow.
So unfortunately, I'll be shipping that one back, and I decided to order a different speaker set, which should arrive today.
I see.
The other one I kind of waited a week for, if you will, and I'm like, that's kind of unpleasant. Right now, all my audio system is going through my my headset is going through my PS5 controller.
Okay.
Well then. I mean, I guess it works.
It does. I do have a replacement auxiliary cable, but I kind of want to plug it into speakers for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I like the access to a volume control. See, I like the speaker option because if I need to like walk away,
Yeah.
like I need to go to the bathroom, I can hear people, like message me and call me and so forth.
Yeah. And it's better than Bluetooth stuff because it won't die in 2 years.
So my
If you're
replacement
lucky.
one is both a 3.5 millimeter and Bluetooth at the same time.
Yeah, like that's kind of what you want because the Bluetooth will die. And
Yeah.
so
I just thought it was funny is that it mentioned it could do Bluetooth and 3.5 at the same time.
Ooh.
wait, what?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
said it
so
could Bluetooth 2 devices and be plugged into 3.5 millimeter.
Huh.
Yeah, well, it's probably not the same time. You can only play one thing.
It can only play one thing, but the idea is you can pair it with 2 other devices,
Yeah.
and if you hit play, it stops that other one and starts that one. Which I don't know why anyone would want such a thing.
Yeah. Somebody hijacks your what you're listening to.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of being hijacked.
As well, you should not be. I'm not entirely sure why I have a hay bale.
I don't know. Why would you have a hay bale?
Not entirely sure why I have a hay bale.
We now have 14 Nautilus shells.
That's almost enough for 2 conduits.
I'm gonna have to start putting books in your shulker box now.
You could make more chests for them.
It's a shame there is nowhere else for me to put them.
Do we have a chest room in
It's a
the
shame
back?
there's nowhere else for us to put them. Yes.
But
I'm sorry.
These skeletons are really annoying.
I mean, we could maybe light the area up.
It's all your fault.
How is it my fault?
This never used to be a problem until you added extra.
It was
Pig
always a
spawners.
problem. What do you
No,
mean?
they weren't ever able to traverse the ground. Now it's so shaded up there, the sun doesn't get to them, and they make it to me while I'm crafting, and I die. Actually, you know what I need to do? I need to quit using this crafting table on the ground.
I
and
guess
use
we
one
could
in the
light
control
it
box.
up.
Well, that doesn't mean they can't get to me.
Well, if it's lit, they won't spawn. They won't get to you because they're not there to begin with.
I'm just going to move my crafting table.
Ugh.
Found a nice safe place to craft from.
Is it really safe though?
Safe from skellies. remember how to make these things.
Um. Hmm.
What?
I was figuring out how many more times I would need to do this to complete a shulker box.
Oh.
And I have determined that it will take a maximum of 2 more times.
Why are you making more spawners?
Well, if the spawner shop ever comes back, it's free money.
You could be making more chests and stuff.
Yes, that is true. Do you want me to make chests? I can make chests. Give me a moment.
You don't have to make chests. I'll make chests.
Are you sure?
What happened to DK?
Remember.
No, he's just being super quiet.
Forgot I made coffee.
Coffee's good.
I need to go get that coffee.
Okay.
But first, I must repair the most precious of things.
And that
Okay.
is?
Sounds like a...
I feel
Fishing.
like if you repair something on an anvil, it shouldn't cost XP. Unless it's enchanted.
I think that there shouldn't be a too expensive feature on an anvil that locks you from doing anything with the item from then on. That's what I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like if the material should be the cost, not the XP.
I can
And
agree
it
with
makes
that.
so little sense on why you need to use XP to repair a tool
Yeah.
if you're also using material.
Okay.
I made coffee this morning. It was Arizona Snakebite.
Oh,
Now I need to go
Arizona
get it.
snake bite?
Yeah, Arizona, the tea company, has decided to also make coffee.
Huh.
And their medium roast is Snakebite. To me, it tastes like morning.
Huh.
it tastes like morning.
Yeah. Or like the sun is hitting you in the face. Yeah. I'll be right back.
lazy. I guess I shouldn't be lazy, huh? Sigh.
Okay, I have a bit of wood now. I don't have anywhere to put this wood.
Just toss it at me.
I'll put it at the crafting table down here.
There's a chest down here you can put in there.
I have too much wood for that. Wait, I want a few planks. And then I'm gonna do that. Then that. And then now I'll make some chests.
I'm probably the weird person who drinks coffee that's been sitting out for 8 hours.
Oh, so you made this morning?
Yeah. But I like bitter coffee, so. When I was young, when my apartment complex had leftover coffee that had been sitting on the burner for too long, in which they had turned off the burner and it was cold, I'm like, nah, don't make me a fresh pot. I'll take that. That's the good stuff. I tend to prefer darker roast.
Wait. Doesn't take long to run out of funnels.
Yeah. And hoppers are so expensive to make.
Good thing we got a lot of pork.
True. Also, I haven't been shot by a single skeleton yet.
Every time I work on that anvil or that crafting table. You said you had wood?
Yes. I'm at the crafting table.
I'm now cutting more of our forest down to make more charcoal.
I will take this to a safe place, thank you.
This is a safe place.
All right. Have fun with that. Jungle log. It's what mixed well with my
It is in a different color. Yeah, one of the features they intended to add was different color chests, and then they didn't add them. So, it
You
won't
know,
look any
that would
different.
have required effort.
There's 2 stacks of chests as well. You don't like that one row?
what?
You just don't like this one row of chests?
What?
Because all the others are longer.
What do you mean longer?
They go down further. And this one just
Oh,
stopped here.
That one is
Oh,
the one
just
that
missed
isn't loved. It's the one that wronged Mr. B in a former life.
I
It was
see.
hiding. What can I do about that?
The Forsaken chest. These are the tales of the Forsaken chest of Mr. B.
So, Starfire or whatever it's
Starfield.
called.
Starfield, yeah.
You liking that?
Oh yeah. One of the things that kind of like I noticed immediately is they kind of downplayed a lot of the violence from Fallout.
Is it made by the same people?
Yes.
Huh.
But the thing is, they also make Elder Scrolls, and Elder Scrolls doesn't have that level of violence either. So I feel like they want to differentiate and say this ultra-violent game, this is going to be the qualities of that particular universe, and the other games aren't going to have that quality.
Hmm.
Because people turn into like gloves of gib in that other game. So
Hmm.
Globs of gib.
in Starfield, like chunky meat pieces. Sorry. So in Starfield, if you kill someone, they just fall over dead, and there really isn't any kind of blood or anything from that.
Okay.
No, as I said, like the violence is far more downplayed than previous games. But I see that's just a difference between Fallout and Starfield. But I definitely enjoy it, and I got a brand new gun. Makes me very happy.
What kind of gun?
The new laser rifle.
Hmm.
In fact, I'm going to show you a picture of it, and its particular unique stats.
Give me
Very
1
meaningful
second.
conversation you're about to have with us there.
Yeah. So that's my new laser rifle.
Plus 30% damage against alien.
Mm-hmm.
How does it know what an alien is?
You see, the thing is, because it has the exterminator status, it specifically targets the alien scum.
The alien scum.
Yeah.
Aliens are people too.
Aliens are not people. The aliens in that game are more like creatures and stuff like that.
Is this like Halo? The aliens are bad guys?
No, there really isn't any aliens that are like sentient.
Hmm.
Except maybe like the terrormorphs, and those are more like xenomorphs, like aliens from the Alien franchise, except worse, because they mess with your head.
Hmm.
I mean, like they make you see things and so forth.
Ah.
So most aliens in this particular thing is like predators and prey on various planets. You can actually get paid to survey planets and find all the various like life forms on it.
Now, the
Which is
very little
kinda-
I've seen made it look like the planets were very barren. And there wasn't a lot to do on them.
You can fast travel to the various places on the planet generally.
So it's like
Um,
you can walk around, but there's not a lot to do.
there's usually very specific places that are of interest, but sometimes the game will spawn new dungeons if you like land randomly somewhere.
I see.
I actually watched it like this one streamer just picked a random place on the planet, and there were loot chests and like various buildings and a dungeon next to it.
Huh.
In which he was like, well, what are the chances of that? The game sometimes will just find something for you. There are things to find, but generally it's better just to have a better scanner and then not have to go look for those things. The other thing is the planets. Some of the planets are very large and have lots of cities and stuff on them. But
Mm.
New Atlantis is like proper size city because it's like 8 districts or something like that.
Mm.
Full of real people or quests or.
It's full of people, quest, organizations, corporations, so forth. For example, the Residence District has the best gun shop in New Atlantis. The Commercial District does not have the best gun shop in New Atlantis, which is interesting.
That is very interesting.
But generally, there's different stores. But then there's like a underground section under the city called the Well, and there's more stores down there. The Well is a little bit more of a gritty place. I actually picked the background to start with parents that I could visit.
You have parents you can visit?
Is that
Yep.
is it not a common background?
No.
Do all of the other backgrounds not have parents?
Yeah.
What?
Because you get to choose 3 traits, and one of them is to have parents, but there's a catch. You have to send back 2% of your money every week.
What do the parents do?
They give you a safe place to sleep, and the ability they give you goodies
Mm.
ever so often when you visit. The first visit you get a backpack,
Huh.
and the backpack is your high school backpack that allows you to carry more things.
Makes sense.
And that's pretty cool. But also just being able to visit someone and tell them about your adventures and so forth is a gift in itself. But the idea behind it is that essentially both your parents are retired, and so you're kind of allowing you're kind of sending money back to your father to take care of everything,
Yeah.
because they don't really have the funds to live in the place they live in anymore because they're retired. So you're enabling them to have a much better lifestyle, essentially. And sometimes they go on trips and so forth. But as I said, like, the idea is that they also give you gifts, so that's nice. I liked talking with them as well. But that's one of the background like traits you can take when you start. You get 3 of them. I took UC Citizen. Not UC Citizen, sorry. UC Born, like that I was born in the United Colonies. Kid Stuff, which is the one that gives you parents. And I picked the particular faith that my character was going to be as well, which is Universalist, which is in Starfield a combination of Christianity and Catholic, in which like the 2 churches combined, essentially.
Huh.
Which gives you access to unique quests and a free chest.
And so it's just basically questing game.
There's a story. You end up working for an organization called Constellation, which are a group of explorers, and they found these crazy artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
When one of their members touched it, they were pulled out. They felt like they were being pulled out into space, and music would play. None of the other members had experienced this, but while you're working for your boss has kind of taken a mining contract for Constellation, and you touch an artifact, and you have that experience. And so they decide to the member of Constellation decides to have you deliver the artifact, and Constellation kind of welcomes you in. And Constellation's kind of made up of a pretty small group of explorers and capitalists. One of the CEOs of the corporation is, in fact, one of the members. And he essentially kind of bankrolls the operation.
Ah.
Now, he didn't start it, he kind of joined it much later. And when you bring the artifact in, the artifacts actually resonate and they like lift themselves off the ground and they start like forming some sort of they like form into like a shape, but like the idea is that there's incomplete pieces. You end up Constellation kind of wants to find more, and they have some ability to kind of search for them through some sort of like deep telescope thing. There are some elements that the artifacts are trying to maybe communicate, but I haven't gotten that much further into the story. I've been kind of I decided to join the UC Vanguard, which is the military for the UC, and my first mission was to deliver like a comm relay and help them repair their comm relay for a colony. I come there, everyone's dead.
Oh no.
And I don't see any reason anyone would be dead. Being more concerning. Then I find one survivor, and I offer the survivor said it was a terramorph, and I'm like, oh, I remember seeing that, because when you go to join the UC, you get a full like there's a history exhibit before you like you say you want to join, they send you down a history exhibit that is probably one of the best maintained museums I've ever seen, where you push a button and you get like the full historical timeline of the UC, which I guess if you're going to join the military, you should probably know the history of the people and organization. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you get to hear about what happened to Earth, yada yada yada, and definite mentions of terramorphs just like appearing in cities and causing problems. And I'm like, I remember that from the thing.
That's a history
backstory.
moment.
Yeah.
Why did the pigs break again?
Because they're sad.
Broken the same way.
So I'm like, wow, this is kind of a little extreme for a first mission. I really was thinking I was going to deliver a comm relay and have a nice chat with people. You know, like help them repair their comm relay. You know, go, this was a good first mission. Maybe some pirates will attack or something. But that was the worst. Not horrible terramorph. Is loose on the planet. So that wasn't expected, and the quest has you turn on some like gun turrets, and with the gun turrets' help, take down the xenomorph. And you grab the sample of the xenomorph. The person looks under the telescope, and sends me to go talk with someone in the in the free colonies, which is a different faction. And so I go and I talk to my commander, and he's like, okay, well, it's up to you, because the Terramorphs attacking a new colony is unheard of, so that's kind of crazy. So I go talk to the person on Mars, and he confirms that dun dun dun, the Terramorph is the same one from London, which was a colony that was completely like essentially the UC kind of just abandoned that colony because it got overran by Terramorphs.
Hmm.
And they're like, how did it get to a new colony? That being cut off was done a long time ago. Is someone shipping them? Are they getting passenger planes? So that kind of mystery comes up, and they want to grab knowledge about the Terramorphs, but that's like all the sides in all the various major factions, different countries, if you will, all agreed that like Terramorph stuff, mechs of particular military type, horrible, terrible things that people made should not be made anymore. So all three factions came together and they made an agreement and they sealed it. They took all that knowledge and sealed it.
Hmm.
But the scientist needs to look at the research data that's sealed.
Yeah.
So you go to the UC and you try to convince the UC that we should start this process. And they're like, we're not really sure. I mean, this is just one attack. This is pretty awful, though. And immediately, New Atlantis gets attacked by teams of Terramorphs.
Well, I mean, that's convenient for your argument.
It makes your argument look very good. So you go and help with that, and what's funny is for the last push of the Terramorphs, you're given a choice to either keep the fire team squad with you, or keep them to protect the civilians in the front line. And I went to the squad leader and said, don't worry, we'll take care of the Terramorphs by ourselves. Y'all just sit here and watch. So I went out and using long range, so I didn't want to get near those things ever again. These ones, though, were twisting people's minds, making civilians attack me, which was unfortunate, but managed to take them all out. So we went to the UC, and the council was like, okay, you know what? I should have took you a little bit more seriously. Approved.
Yay!
So, unfortunately, I now have to convince the other factions that this was a good idea as well.
Hmm.
So all the other factions have gone to war with the UC previously. So I had to go to the embassy and convince the ambassador to approve the project. And the ambassador told me no.
Makes sense.
So then I talked to her assistant, and I said, the UC embassy has some work for you. Oh, really? Can you tell me about the job opportunities? And then I realized I just paid him $8,000. He's like, oh, here's the secret code thing. And I managed to record a recording of the ambassador mentioning that she had plans to kill members of her leadership council.
Hmm.
And then I went and talked with the ambassador again and said, It would be unfortunate if I told your leadership you had plans on eliminating them. Oh, you know what? Those terramorphs, they sound really awful. Here, approved.
I mean, yeah, I mean that works.
So then I go to the other embassy to talk with the next faction, and they're the people who believe that they believe in some great serpent as their kind of Lord and Savior, if you will.
Yeah.
And they have extremists that believe that the Great Snake wants everyone to die. So, but obviously not all of them are like that, right? So anyway, I go to his embassy, and it's like overturned with plants everywhere, and it looks like it hasn't been kept. And that's a little concerning, right? Because usually embassies are nice.
Yeah. But maybe it's just like a stylistic choice.
And then I literally walk up to like a little, like, I'm hearing pleas for help coming from the intercom. And
From the intercom.
yeah, like the intercom system.
Okay.
And robots start attacking me.
Huh.
So I take care of the robots. I fight my way through. And I find the ambassador kind of trapped in a room in which he's not been able to leave. Because all of his security systems decided to protect him from the world.
Huh.
And I'm like, oh. So he planted a bunch of trees and stuff from their homeworld, and they went crazy. And they started messing with the electronics and computer systems.
So he planted some trees, and the trees
Went all revengey on him.
Well, the thing is, there used to be more people at his embassy, but they left. So, like, the ambassador is essentially in an embassy empty. That's like multiple floors.
Huh.
And I'm like, why didn't you leave? Because I made a promise, and I'm not gonna go back on it. I'm like, yeah. I don't know. I feel like you should pay some staff. Maybe some lawn keepers. Anyway, saving him. His only requirement was I promise that I won't let any of this technology be used for evil. And I said, okay, now that's a hard promise. I'm gonna definitely do my best to make sure that like more harm is not done with this knowledge, but like I can't like hard promise that everyone that will touch this is going to use it, because like I'm just a member of the Vanguard. I'm not a general. I'm not an admiral. My ability to control what the UC does with this is quite limited.
Then I really don't think you should be the one going around and asking for it. But
I made compelling arguments. Yeah, the ambassadors of the UC, they were kind of annoyed that they thought my firsthand experience in taking out the terramorphs might have more meaning than just some bureaucrat. So I get that. That kind of makes sense. I have a little bit more urgency in my discussion because I can tell them what happened. I can describe it.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, the UC ambassador told me there was a listening device in that one embassy. And the only problem was I had to get to a place where I could access the recording. Which I acquired using my method of paying $8,000. And this was like, that's like mission 1 and mission 2 of the UC Vanguard.
That's a lot for. Like, that's very, very fast progression.
So, is it multiplayer from the start, or do you have to finish a bunch of stuff first?
It's single player only. Bethesda generally makes single player games.
Oh, okay. So it's no multiplayer. I heard it was like, oh, it's like Elder Scrolls. I was thinking, what is the? What's the one that's the online version of that?
Elder Scrolls Online.
Okay. So when I heard it was like Elder Scrolls, but in space, I figured it would be multiplayer.
No. Sadly, no.
So I guess then you could pick a different group and you'd get a different quest line.
Yeah, you can also join the Freestar. And I'll be honest with you, the Freestar kind of come across as like old America. Not very many like a weaker central government, sheriffs and so forth. And I think members of their military are called Rangers.
So
generally,
it's like Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely comes across as these people left the United Colonies because they wanted more freedoms. But I gotta be honest with you, some of those freedoms I don't necessarily agree with, like the Planet of Neon, which apparently has a feel-good drug that is only legal to use in Neon. I don't know. I've always had a very negative feeling about that kind of stuff.
So is it?
UC kind of comes across like British Empire, you know.
So is it more story driven or more open world?
I say it's kind of like it has both options. Because you could just go to random planets, start surveying them, and like find quests to do, or like abandoned outposts that might be full of like pirates or something that you can clear out. And there are a bunch of like open world things where you can go to a bar and there'll be like a quest board to haul cargo from one place to another place.
Woo! Moving cargo. How fun.
My friend Jackie, those are his favorite missions. He gets so excited hauling cargo. Like, I don't know, that's his real big thing. With how ADHD he is, I'm not sure how that works.
I don't know. I mean, some people want to move cargo, I guess.
Then Jackie saw my spaceship and what it does to bad guys, and he decided he's just going to like sell all the weapons on his ship now.
And buy new ones?
He bought the really nice ones, but he bought a couple. And so by default in the game, you start with 3 different weapon classes, which you're only allowed to install 3 different types of weapons. You can have multiples of those weapons, but only 3 different types.
Yeah.
And by default, you start with some laser guns, some ballistic gun, and a missile launcher.
Mm-hmm.
The missile launcher does a lot of hull damage. The autocannon, and then the lasers do a lot of shield damage. DK took all 3 of those gun types and threw them away. I install a particular particle laser, which does equal amounts of shield and hull damage. And then I put 4 of them on my ship.
And you shoot them all at once.
And I put a big enough reactor so that I can shoot those guns like they're machine guns. Except they're machine guns that do a lot of damage. I, in particular attack ways against pirates, I can annihilate 3 pirates on the first pass. And I assure you, his jaw dropped.
Yeah.
I managed to very careful, because like, as you make your ship heavier, you have to start adding thrusters. But then, the more thrusters you put on, the more weight you put on, the harder your warp drive has to work. And so you're
Would that
trying
not only be a problem like taking off and accelerating?
your general maneuverability is the first part. So your ability to turn and rotate and
Okay. Yeah, because that would. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
your grav drive being sad though reduces how far you can fast travel.
Hmm. So is fast
Which
travel using gravity, like some form of gravity manipulation?
it's some sort of gravity warp drive essentially.
I see.
It's called a grav drive. I'm not really particularly sure. It looks like it opens up a hyperspace window. Um, with that said, though, I did kind of have an interesting thing where I fast traveled to a particular location, and I received a call for help from a farmer. He was trying to meet. He was attempting to call assistance from some organization that helps colonists.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh well, someone needs help. Because like in my game, I joined the UC Vanguard, and I've become a full citizen of the UC.
Yeah.
And I've sworn my oath. And so like in my mind, oh, someone is asking for help, I better help them.
Yeah.
So I land, and the farmer's pointing a gun at me, and I'm like, oh no, I got your call for help. I'm here to help. And he's like, people don't just do that.
Then you need to pay me to help you. How about that?
And I'm like, no, not really. I just like I got your distress signal. I'm here to help. He told me that the pirates had taken out the satellites that allow all the various families of all the colony to talk to each other, because each family got a different part of the planet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, interesting. Why don't I help fix all those satellites? So I go and combat the pirates and fix all the satellites. So all the families get to talk to each other. One of the families seems to really hate the person I'm helping. Okay, fair enough. So apparently, the farmer wants to form a defense pact with all the other families.
That makes
A
sense.
mutual defense pact. Okay, cool. He asks me, he pays me $1,000 for like fixing all the satellite, $2,000 I think for fixing all the satellites, which I didn't really want, but I accepted anyway because I didn't really have a choice. So then I convinced all the families to. Well, I convinced one family to join the defense pact. The other one was like, "That makes sense, but I have only one ship, so I'm here to help with that one ship." So then the group decided that to wipe out all the pirate patrols, then find the pirate base, and then we'd attack the pirate base. Like, okay, cool. I went off and I had the choice of bringing parts of the Mutual Defense Pact with me to help in the wiping out of all the pirates. And I'm like, nah, I got this. So I ended up taking out, let's see, 4, 8, 12, 16, like 20 pirate ships. I fought them in groups of 4 for whatever reason. Like I went out and like took out each patrol.
Huh.
Then all of us assaulted the pirate fleet, which it wasn't much for my upgraded ship, if you will. My shields never went down during that assault. So I took out that. We landed on the space station. We assaulted all the families came together assaulting the space station. I kind of pushed forward, and when it came to the parts that talked to everyone about pushing to the next part, I just kind of went on my own for the second part.
I mean, it sounds like you can do it by yourself anyway. Doesn't...
I mean, I have a companion with me with a weapon, so it's like me and her got this. I mean, I would do these things by myself anyway, but the initial thing was a little helpful because the pirates were kind of grouped up, kind of in a particular place with some good eyes on where we were entering. So having a few extra people there was nice. But I took the second floor, and then I went and met up with all the farmers, and they told me we found all the we came together to give you this reward because while we were here you did most of the work. And I was like, nah, I don't want a reward. Y'all keep that. I considered all the loot I took from the pirates my just reward.
Yeah.
Which of course Aerith was watching me and he got mad with me. He's like, that's not the capitalist thing to do. Why does everyone assume the capitalist has to take the most greedy option? It's far more sensible for me to want those families to grow so that they will become maybe future trading partners. Capitalism is not always the short-term seek of profit, but sometimes the longer seek of profit.
Stonks.
I don't know. Like, not Mr. Krabs' form of capitalism is what I like to call the short term, looking for the short-term gain.
Yeah.
It lacks the wisdom of good capitalist industrialists who's going to look for those long-term profits.
Uh-huh.
See, a long-term one is going to willingly accept an initial loss with the idea I'm going to get more money later.
Yeah.
I don't know how Mr. B feels about that, but
I don't know.
There's merit to both, or not. I mean,
Rampage, can I borrow you for a second?
Sure. Oh. I jumped. What is this creeper doing? Hello.
You
What?
hear that?
The zombie?
Yeah.
Found him.
Oh, did we not like seal this or something, or put lights in it?
Why is this a thing? What is this?
I think this was something you were building, and then you sealed it up in shame.
shame.
I don't know.
And I think your words were, "This never happened."
Probably. That's something I would say. So I guess we just like put a torch in it and then seal it up again?
Probably a good idea.
You don't
I
like
was just
creepy
very
noises in your
concerned.
walls?
Yeah, I was slightly concerned that there was like monsters in our walls.
I see no problem with that. It's perfectly fine.
Oh, by the way, the arc furnace is again
Functional?
yeah. It is now ready to mass process all of your nonsense. I just took the charcoal out. Where are you? Okay.
Why did I cobblestone this wall? Why? Why was...
You were making something, as I recall.
But
And
there's
then you gave
nothing.
up.
There's nothing even behind it.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it was
What?
DK who was correcting the look or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like that's what some. I feel like just putting cobblestone there is something I would do. I feel like you would put stone there.
I would not put stone there because I'm too lazy to make stone.
Maybe. I don't know.
So it's quite possible it's my fault.
Can't you just use your arc furnace to make stone? Or you're just saying you wouldn't have had stone?
We didn't
too?
have an arc furnace at the time.
Yeah.
Now I probably would, but don't you like our nice spiral staircase?
I wonder when Spock will use this room again.
I don't know.
What is? He has some weird possession.
I bet that
You
rotten
like
meat
little
is.
hotel rooms I made?
I bet that rotten meat is stinking up the place, though.
Probably even more rotten now. And then there's 2 rooms with nothing.
When someone comes and get it, we'll make another bed.
What an odd set of possessions.
Yeah, I think these are the nice and convenient little rooms for guests.
They're definitely guests because they don't ever seem to come back.
Yeah, that's why I did it. So I wasn't wasting like making rooms for people.
Yeah.
So
And if they do show up, they can have fun. What's up?
what happens after Zeta Gundam? Where do we go next?
That's a bit of a controversy.
Huh.
So technically, you could watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Gundam Double Zeta.
Okay.
Okay, so double Zeta.
And then after that, it's generally going to be Char's counterattack.
So double Zeta Char's counterattack, but some people
Char's counterattack is a movie.
ah.
Definitely let me know when you're ready for that.
But
We're just
first,
about finished with Zeta Gundam.
we're like almost finished.
You were like one more
Nice.
episode, right?
I think so. Maybe more, but not a lot.
So interesting twists that have happened.
Predictable twist.
I mean,
The people with the purple hair want to take over all over the place. Oh, and then there's this, really weird. Everybody, let's share everybody's memories so that we can all understand each other.
yeah, that was in the most recent episode, and that didn't make any sense.
And then she, what was her name?
Are you saying
Hamon?
that you? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
she
she and
decides-
Camille like start having a fight, and then they like radiate energy, and then they get like sent to some dream place, and then like they share memories somehow because that's how magic works. And then Camille's like,
well,
"Hey, we can be friends," and she's like, "No."
No, Camille doesn't really say it. He doesn't know what's going on, but whatever entity is making them share memories is so that they can understand each other. And her interpretation of that is everybody needs to kill Camille because
Yeah.
he is a threat to life itself.
Yeah.
Because we cannot be friends. Nobody can be friends.
The interesting thing is new types are like telepathic,
To an extent that we've seen, yeah.
and Camille right now is the strongest, like, new type.
Yeah, Mr.
And
Patmos or whatever his name is.
and that's making Cicero mad because he's also telepathic, and he's no longer the biggest telepath.
Well, he doesn't know that yet.
No.
Well,
Cicero and
Actually, he does know that.
I don't know that he knows that.
He
'cause
knows that.
Cicero knows that there's something going on.
Well-
but he had a thing with Hamon as well, where they, stop in the middle of battle and
Send mind magic to each other.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they couldn't quite understand, and the people that were backing them up, they very conveniently didn't
Stop
shoot
shooting.
while this was going on. I mean, they had clear orders to blow up the Quibbly, but hey, nobody's moving, so let's not shoot them. But anyway,
Well, some of those new type abilities kind of cause normal people to kind of freeze up.
that caused time to stop. Yeah.
Well, I think it's not that time stops. I think it's that it's meant to be happening like super, super quickly. But you can't really display all the
Slow
information.
down
Like you can't
for the audience.
you can't have a bunch of information at like 150 times speed and expect people to understand what happened.
Okay, so slow down for dramatic, for the.
It's like
Dramatic.
slow down for
For the
the
audience.
audience to understand what's actually happening.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, other than Cats is extremely annoying. Yeah, that's the latest.
After that is Unicorn Gundam.
Okay, so not
So wait, so
JoJo.
not
No,
Double
I'm
Zeta?
sorry. After Double Zeta, Char's Counterattack, and then Unicorn Gundam.
Okay.
Double Zeta, I guess.
I warn you, Double Zeta is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for the first part of it.
You
I mean, that's fine for me. That's like really bad for Mr. B.
this you're
the-
you're suggesting that these have not been JoJo's Bizarre Adventure up to
These-
this point?
These are not JoJo's.
There is so the initial villain for Double Zeta, the original initial antagonist is something that I feel like could have been pulled from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He has this weird thing about flowers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's extremely eccentric.
So how
have
many
you
years
seen
go by?
JoJo's? Are you basing this off of like
The little bit of JoJo's I've seen,
okay, which part of JoJo's did you see? Because
mostly memes.
okay. So okay.
I'm saying this
Well
guy
then.
is like a JoJo meme.
Okay. That'll be interesting then.
I want you to know Double Zeta is the most hated series. So much so that initially they made a Zeta movie that replaced the ending of Zeta Gundam to make sure Double Zeta didn't happen.
That's funny.
Double Zeta gets better eventually, but the initial part of Double Zeta can literally be called Bright's unfortunate side adventure.
Woo.
Because he's still like the captain of the protagonist ship, but the protagonist is not on his side. And so he has to convince the protagonist to join.
Wow.
And then he gets to take that protagonist on a horrible misadventure.
Woo.
But he has to convince the protagonist to help him. And this protagonist is not a normal like hero archetype. Because he's a street rat.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes flowers?
No, that's the
No,
villain.
Oh, that's the
That's the
villain.
antagonist.
Yeah, that's it.
So do we still have Camille and cats and
Camille is there, but he is no longer a functioning character.
Nice.
so they get rid of Camille in the next couple of episodes?
I guess so.
No. He's
He retires.
Double Zeta gets him back to a hospital.
He's in a
He
hospital?
was very, very injured.
Ah.
And that's me trying to be very subtle.
Yeah.
Does he come back later? Because right now he's not the strongest new type ever.
Let's just say that Cicero is going to have a very long conversation with Camille.
Wow.
Woo.
This is gonna be interesting. Does Cicero go away?
I assume
Yeah.
he dies.
Common is going to still be around and is going to be the main antagonist of Double Zeta. Also, you're going to meet someone else from Zeta who will kind of show up as a weird side character. He was one of the bad guy mobile suit team members who survived Zeta Gundam.
Hmm.
And
Jared? What was his name?
not Jared.
We haven't seen
One
much
of the
Jared
the
recently.
newer ones, in which all of his squad mates got taken out, and he's going to try to convince the protagonist to work against their best interest.
Yeah, some great lines in this lot. The Titans are threatening to basically launch a whole bunch of nuclear missiles onto the Earth. And Camille's response is a very angry, "They will pollute the Earth." Yeah. We have no regard for human life in these shows.
Well, remember, like, already over half of the human race has been wiped out at this point, so Earth definitely has some missing parts of population.
It's hilarious.
That's okay because Shar has a worse plan.
I don't think we've seen Char's plan yet.
No, we haven't.
But the thing is, he also makes a counter plan. And that's the important part. Because he also wants the opportunity to be stopped. And that's super important to him.
Yeah, right now he's...
Because, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's because, you know, it's important to him that, like, you know, that he could be stopped. Because, you know, maybe humanity is on the correct path and he's wrong.
What? It's such an odd position to take.
No, right now he's contemplating her name's Minerva. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Some
Her last request. Tell me about my mom and dad.
That is so awkward.
Sure, tell me about my mom and dad. Oh, you mean your mom and dad who murdered my parents? Yeah. How about them?
Oddly enough, Minerva is going to show up again in Unicorn Gundam. And she's going to kind of help drive Unicorn Gundam with the protagonist. Because Minerva has now grown up and by the time of Unicorn Gundam and is not particularly happy with how things are going. Double Zeta is going to be kind of the, say, like, essentially Neon Zeon versus Aayug, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And Minerva's going to kind of come out of that with, she's still considered the Princess of Zeon, basically. But now she's much older, and people can't kind of put her in a room and tell her to be quiet.
Yeah, well, Haman kind of runs her own agenda.
Yeah, that's why Shar kind of left because of Hammond or Hammond or whatever her name is.
It could be Hammond.
Because
Oh.
originally he totally rescued her and brought her to Neo Zeon.
Mm-hmm.
And Shar stayed with Neo Zeon for a while in a manga series called Shar: A Deleted Affair. Let's just say he butted heads with Hammond a lot.
I also always wondered why he was on the side of the AEGU. How did you even get there?
Well, it's interesting enough is he took some of his like veteran pilots from Zeon days, Apollo and I forgot what the other guy's name was. Like those were
Body?
fellow Zeon.
Yeah.
Huh?
Body.
Yeah, like those were like, you know, some of his old squad mates, and he brought them in. But I think his resistance against the Titans made a lot of sense because if you look at what the Titans were, they're everything like the zombie family were trying
Yeah.
to push.
Yeah.
And if you recall some of the other things, is that some of these people were former Federation officers, but they were working with Xeon forces.
Yeah.
So this was, I think, a way to put like the whole Stardust Memories was putting some very evil Xeon people back into power.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, if you think about it, Stardust Memories worked really good. And those people kind of put in power were kind of a third faction, if you will. And they were not very good people. They did not treat the colonists any better.
Yeah.
In fact, they did worse. They were worse than the Federation. The Federation, like, you could see that, they didn't like each other, but, the Federation wasn't... Federation...
Wasn't
Kinda just-
poisoning entire.
Yeah, their aim wasn't to poison or blow up colonies like every week.
Yeah,
We're
it
just
was
gonna
like,
poison this colony because they might resist us.
Like, oh hey, there's this colony inside too. Let's poison. Oh hey, there's this colony inside too. Let's throw it at the moon. Oh hey, there's this colony inside too. Let's use a giant laser to kill it. Oh hey, there's a
And then
colony
poison it.
inside too. Let's poison it.
yeah, so...
It's just, golly.
Like, just
Yeah,
move
but-
out of sight too. No colony there is safe.
The great thing is you can see that, like, all of the more noble Federation officers who would never have let that happen were killed in Stardust Memories.
Yeah.
Like, all the noble... And this also put the Federation in a weird position in which, like, it lost all of its top military brass, basically.
Mhm.
And so the Federation was kind of, as a military entity, was kind of crumbled there. So it definitely made sense to put someone else in charge. But oh boy, some oversight was needed.
Wow. There was
I mean-
oversight, and then they all decided to vote the oversight away.
I think the oversight was barely... I mean, what they did to Bright was unacceptable, in my opinion.
Well,
You know, a war hero of the 1 year war, and they were, like, beating him up.
yeah. There was a little
That-
bit of
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you would think the Federation would be very upset about that. But apparently
Yeah.
the Titans were more important.
Yep.
And, some Federation military bought into it because it increased their rank. Ooh, that's a poisonous thing, though, right? But, like, why should that matter, right? You could see where Bright, like, such an honorable man he was, he didn't join the Titans.
Yeah.
And he didn't take that rank promotion. He got, like, demoted to, like, a freighter pilot. Thankfully, he gets better taken care of in the future. By the time of Unicorn Gundam, he's actually going to have, like, a position in the... Well, Char's counterattack is going to have him in a more position of power.
So he doesn't have to be running a nursery on his ship anymore.
Nope. He gets to run a big boy nursery by the time of Unicorn Gundam, where he has, like, his own, like, command.
And how many people does he slap then? Or correct then?
Yeah, punch in the head.
Well, it's interesting is in Unicorn Gundam, the protagonist walks up to him at, like, near the end of the series and says, like, I need to do this. And he's like, okay, well, who am I to question a Gundam boy? Here's the keys, don't hurt yourself. And the thing is, like, this is his first interaction with that protagonist.
All right, so JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Huh? Lovely.
I don't think it'll be like actual JoJo. I don't know. That would be impressive.
It's definitely going to be a bunch of hijinks, and Bright is going to be pushed into the super daycare of dealing with teenagers with attitude.
I think he's already got so much of that with Fa and Cats. I mean, Camille has been better than Amuro was.
Well,
Cats is
Camille
Brutal.
had this kind of masculine desire to be masculine. Because, you know, he has this weird thing of being suggested to be feminine in any way. If you notice that.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird.
Camille's a boy's name! And I'm a boy.
Yeah.
Or a man, I'm sorry.
I mean, he wasn't as bad as Amuro was, and then, but
Yeah, I think
he
Amuro
pushed-
was a very sensitive person initially.
he pushed back, you know, but he fell in line and he fell in line. You know, with the exception of the I'm your sister.
That was weird.
I'm gonna say I'm your sister for like 3 hours, and then you are going to
Believe me.
you're gonna be emotionally tied to me forever. Even though I'm gonna try to blow you up, you're gonna be emotionally tied to me, and you're not gonna be able to do anything against me.
Did you expect Emma to...
She
leave the AU?
needs.
Well, like I assumed there was mind magic, so I was expecting her to either leave or like some other like become a spy or something.
I
'Cause,
mean, I have to be honest with you. That was a poor like move against Camille there.
well, I am just under the impression that she has been mind magicked, and
He's giving her the benefit of the doubt, but I have a great deal of doubt. I mean, Mr. Patmore, I forget what they call him. Not Cicero.
This room. Oh,
Yeah, but they call him Mr. something, starts with a P. Sarah and Emma did. And it's like, he's the first person who's ever treated me like a woman. Okay. And so you're going to abandon all your friends and threaten to blow them up and sabotage them and all these people who've been super nice to you. And okay, yeah. You've got some
I
really
just took that
strange
Cicero
issues.
was very charismatic.
Yeah,
I take it as
the-
he has mind magic, and he casts charm person on everyone that he meets.
He does, yes, because I mean she saw him from across a mech bay and decided to defect.
Pretty much.
It's just like,
I think that's some charm person, not one wisdom save.
yeah, she
I mean, like,
critically failed her wisdom save there.
Yeah, like,
like, what are you
You
trying
know,
to
you-
introduce into this show here? Because this makes no sense.
I've definitely seen people moved by charismatic people to do very dumb things.
I don't think you could convince someone to kill a whole colony
Yeah,
and try to kill your friends on several occasions.
They also maybe suggest that her allegiances were not very strong to begin with.
yeah. Yeah, she definitely was a person with questionable moral character.
Which maybe the AU needed her questionable behavior beforehand, but
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That was just tough.
you notice she always went on missions by herself, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, and she threw a fit if you try to tell her she had to go with someone else or wasn't good enough to go on them. I want to prove that I'm a woman, so I'm going to go onto this ship and then get mind magicked. Well, maybe there's a reason they didn't want you to go. So, yeah. Ugh. And then Kat's falling in love with Sarah because, oh, she was in the cell for an hour, and his life was utterly changed.
What about Camille's girlfriend? Fa, I believe her name was.
Yeah,
Four or wait, so like there was Fa, and that's still a thing, and then there was Four.
She's
Who
more
was
like
on
his.
Earth?
It's more like his sister. I think
I don't
he
know.
really feels like Four was his girlfriend.
Okay, so Fa was like his little big sister, maybe. I don't know.
Sister-ish. I mean, I think she
Yeah.
likes him, but he hasn't got that far yet. I think it's kind of hinted at going there, but not quite there yet. And then she keeps like doing silly things like sticking up for cats, and I don't know.
Cats
I
is trying
feel
to
like
get
those are-
himself killed, and he's like, "No, don't threaten him. Let him die.
Yeah.
How will he learn if he doesn't die?"
Let him run off to danger that he shouldn't be going off into danger. It's like,
Okay, maybe
seriously.
she's a little too supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my gosh. All of these people with exceptionally questionable actions. And they're like blowing up people left and right. And, you know, you got your AEGU green Gundam mech suits that fly out and just get blown up all over the place. But one of their people gets blown up, and it's like, the world is ending. We've not seen anyone die, kind of thing. Very strange.
What's your thoughts of the Super Gundam?
Super Gundam?
We haven't seen
Mhm.
that, I don't think. We've only seen.
It's the G Defender and the Mark II combined.
I don't think they've put them together yet.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they haven't done
Well,
that.
they
yet.
had at that point.
No. I'm like, I've kind of been expecting it for like ages because that's what they did in 7-9, and they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I don't. I wonder if they. I seem to remember a. Kind of like them putting something together, but I just don't remember if it was in this one.
Well, they did it a lot in 7-9.
Yeah, yeah. I just
It
don't
was to
remember
give
if
like
they-
one of the support pilots more power, essentially. Because the G Defender is, or not G Defender, the G Defensor is it has a big gun,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
like
and a
it's funny.
terrible
Is it just
pilot.
like it sits on the like the back of the Mark II like as a backpack
Huh.
and gives its giant gun to the Mark II.
Yeah, Camille just came out with an even bigger gun last time.
He was like, "Oh,
Oh, the mega launcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can make as many big guns as they want, but they can't make suits. Except for the Metis, which got blown up and then didn't get blown up anymore.
They had multiples of those, I think.
They were like super. Wright was super hesitant to let Fa pilot the Metis because he didn't want it to get damaged. And so he pilots the Metis, and it completely gets blown up. There is nothing left of it. And then, like, 3 episodes later, they have it again. Like, what?
Yeah.
But
Well, they
nose-
get replacement suits. Those are like basic mobile suits, so
Ah.
know, AU would just have to send them another one.
But they made the Zeta Gundam in like 3 weeks. And
Well, they
just haven't-
took them. They didn't make it from scratch though. They took a Mark II and they turned it into the Zeta Gundam.
And they can't make any more of those.
They don't have the They don't have the manufacturing blueprints for the Mark II Gundam. They just stole a couple.
They
of
still
them.
have a Mark II.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But having it isn't the same thing as having like the manufacturing blueprints or having the part space, because you
So-
have to key all that stuff and
So,
get the molds and so forth.
Only the Titans and the New Zeon people can make new, cool suits.
No, they can make
Well,
them when
it's
the
theirs.
So they
Yeah.
can make new suits when the protagonist says, "Hey, I have this cool suit idea," and then they suddenly gain the knowledge to make the suit, and then after that, they don't remember.
Oh no, well the thing is like they were converting other people's suits that they stole.
Yeah, but I
And
don't understand why they can't just make a second Zeta out of their spare Mark II.
Well, they'd have to. It's fair.
Money.
They'd have to send it away, and then they'd have to wait for it to come back, and all of this is all
That's
happening,
fair.
right?
Yeah, they would have to wait a long time.
And I believe the Zeta Gundam kind of requires a new type, so like Fall wouldn't be able to fly it.
Yeah.
I think
like,
it's
it's
Super
kind
of
Miss
like a new
Rococo
type.
who's flying it.
Yeah.
Right now.
Like Quattro / Char is definitely a new type, and he can definitely use new type ships. But Fawn and some of the other ones, not so much.
Yeah. No, I mean that's fair. Okay.
Because like the Zeta Gundam is definitely an Ace style suit, and much faster than the other ones.
And it's a transformer.
Yes. Which that's kind of a neat thing. If you need
Yeah,
to go
because
fast.
because in space you really do need to turn into a
Yeah,
know,
it's more aerodynamic. Yeah.
aerodynamic space fighter to be able to move quickly
Well, less drag.
in
Yeah.
space. Yes.
Yeah, I remember the hard science fiction people explain how like Star Trek ships would never work because they wouldn't be able to move very fast, because the ideal like design for space is a rocket ship design.
What?
Yeah, there's an entire argument about ship design from the hard science fiction requirements.
Yeah, I don't know about a rocket ship being necessary because no
But there's a
atmosphere.
reason spaceships are designed the way they are.
Well, most of the time, our Get to space spaceships are designed like rockets because they have to get through Earth's atmosphere.
That's true, but
Once they're in
there's
space,
still
it
like
doesn't
an
matter.
ideal design for traveling in space.
Well, you just want it to have
There's
as
no
little mass as
friction in
possible.
space. Yeah.
And so having engines that are super far away from the rest of the ship is inefficient.
I don't know. You look up how fast the probes are going that we sent out
Yeah, with our
a million
ion
years ago.
engines.
Yeah, they're zooming pretty fast. Now, they don't have a lot of mass, but again, that shouldn't make a difference. It's just, can you continually propel yourself, and how fast is that propulsion?
I believe there's particular calculations on the actual ship design that can improve performance. But we'll say though, how many characters? How many main characters have died so far?
Not many. I don't
Main,
think.
I mean, you have to define what a main character is. I mean, we really don't have that. I guess his name was what, Jarvis, something like that. The head of, no, the head of the Titans. Cicero shot him.
Oh, him.
I mean, he would be a main character, I guess. He's dead.
I don't think any like ally main characters.
Yeah,
have
they had
really
someone
died.
die just like a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah, but he was like not really
He's
a
like a
main
secondary
character. He was like there, but I don't consider recurring characters main character.
Yeah. Oh, no, I guess Sarah died. But again, she was not
Antagonist.
necessarily main character.
Unfortunate for her. She made the wrong decision.
She was conflicted. Of course, Katz is now blaming everyone except himself, but that's fine.
Well, like, his original thing was that he blamed, like, Cicero or whatever, and now he's blaming Haman for some reason.
Yeah, we don't really know why he's doing that, but
I assume he's just angry and
he's just blaming everyone except
Yeah.
himself,
Yeah.
who actually pulled the trigger, or her
Yeah.
who jumped in front of the shot. I mean, he should have known she would have tried to protect him. So, but anyway, he shouldn't have been pining over her in the first place. She was not.
You should have gone for Haman.
Oh yeah, that's the answer. Yeah.
He should have gone. He should have shot at Haman. All of the problems would be solved. He just chose the wrong target. Like he
He
made a
should've-
bunch of bad mistakes to get into that situation, but he could have turned it around. He could have made it
turned
better
around.
if he just shot Haman instead.
Yeah, he wasn't quite interested in anyone else but himself at that point. All right. Well, I'm gonna head out.
Well, Double Zeta first part should be coming to y'all shortly.
What? Okay. Well, thank
Thank
you.
you for that.
Yeah, a silly security number. I'm sending it ground. I don't know how long that's going to take. Supposedly 3 to 5 days.
I'm sure that's more than enough time.
Give us 1 second, DK. Well, everyone, I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, slap like, subscribe, and goodbyes.
Bye, everyone.